G'day folks, Lone Mojo here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at Valheim's first boss, Eikthyr. But before we get going, if this video is useful and you get some good tips, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel, and it will really help us out. Now, on to the fight. So Eikthyr is a deer god who uses lightning as his primary form of attack. However, before you find Eikthyr, you're going to need to locate it. Luckily, right at the start of the game, in the stone circle where you first land, there's a glowing red tablet, and by clicking on that it will reveal the location of one of Eikthyrs altars. In Valheim, you can actually fight the bosses multiple times just by finding a different altar, so there'll be a few scattered around. For this boss fight, I've actually pre-recorded it and I'll do the full fight playthrough with some comments and some notation. So hopefully you enjoy. So this is the altar where we're going to summon the boss Eikthyr, just here. The thing you'll need is 2 deer antlers or deer trophies, and you're going to find those while you're trying to gear yourself up. So what gear do you need? Now, if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you might have noticed that I've already beaten the boss once. You can tell by that item there and the fact that I've got a cloak. But really all you need is leather armor, maybe upgraded 1 level, and in this case I'm just using a crude bow. The bow is the best weapon I've found for pretty much any boss that I've come up against. So it's worthwhile learning how to use it, understanding the arrow drop off and those sorts of things. Some other things of note is make sure you've got lots of food. This is going to be mushrooms, cooked meat, and strawberries or are they raspberries, whatever the berry is. And the alternative is necktails as well. So make sure you're buffed up, because a lot of this fight is based around stamina management. If you run out of stamina during the fight, you can end up in a fair bit of strife. So it's all about having a good stamina bar to work with and trying not to deplete it. Now for this particular one, you'll see that I've got a kind of a shoreline up here. So that's going to make things a little bit more complex for me in terms of where I can be. So the first thing I'd do in the video is actually sort of scout that area out after I punch the air. And this is also probably made a little bit more complex by the fact that there's a lot of trees and boulders around. And if you're walking sort of backwards while you're strafing, while you're shooting, there's little places like this where you can sort of back yourself into a corner and then back yourself into another corner that can make things difficult for you. So you've got to be really mindful. And I think later on in the video, it kind of happens to me. I get hit because I stand near a rock and I walk backwards into it. But if you can, ideally, you want to kite this boss out into a nice big open area. So I'm kind of getting my lay of the land, and then it comes time to summon. So to summon, what you're going to want to do, and just eat some food, and you're going to want to make sure you've got your trophies in a hotbar. I've totally missed that, but anyway, in the hotbar there, and then you simply walk up to the altar and press the number that it's bound to, and that's it. It'll summon the boss. Some things to note: when you summon the boss, if it's raining, that'll clear the weather up, so that's nice. And here comes Eikthyr. So Eikthyr got 3 main attacks that he'll use against you. He's got like a charge or a gore, where he tries to gore you with his antlers, and it's his only sort of melee attack. The other 2 are ranged. There's a sort of a lightning bolt that's going to shoot straight out in front of him, and then there's also like a dome AoE of lightning. So they're the 3 you got to watch out for. And I think I get hit straight up here. You can see he actually telegraphs this. He stands himself up, and he's going to hit me with a direct lightning blast to the face. Now, the good thing is, because I've got decent armor on, I don't take very much damage. And if you go in with upgraded leather armor for this fight, you're probably going to be okay, unless you get hit with every attack over and over again and you're not keeping your distance. By staying back, shooting with the bow, hitting a couple of times, then moving, hitting a couple of times, moving, and keeping an eye on your stamina, you should be fine. And you can see I'm not going for any particular spots. Oh, he's wound himself up again there. And this will be the AoE that I spoke about. And you can see that's kind of the range there and around about here, and a little dome around there. So it's basically a dome attack. It's not too big, so it's pretty easy to get out of. And as I said, he does telegraph his moves fairly well, so you can easily avoid these ones. Unless you get stuck on trees. Yeah, not going for any particular place on the body, just trying to get hits. I think his head is a weak spot, but really, you don't need to worry too much about it. Just shoot him. That was the lightning attack, the forward lightning attack. And that was the gore. So one of the good things about doing this fight in the forest is that you can use the trees to kind of maneuver around and force him to maneuver around you. And you can see there that this rock here, I sort of backed into it, couldn't get back any further, came around the rock instead of out to the side like I should have done, and I got hit by that one. So just being aware of your surroundings really helps. As I get stuck on a tree. Now, one of the other things that can happen during this fight is random enemies can just decide to join the fray. And we'll see that in a second where I think one of them comes up. There we go. So there's his little eyes just there. My suggestion is, depending on how far you've got to go, I would probably deal with the additional creatures first. Get them out of the road so you can focus on the fight. And then you don't have to worry about something that's going to crowd you. And these guys will come up and they'll crowd around you, and that gives you less opportunities to maneuver. And in a pretty compact area, which is pretty densely populated with things, extra movement blockages is not really great. Of course, I missed my first shot on this at point blank range. Nice archery skills. So you saw then the time that it took to gore me then was fairly generous. So if you see him running in at you and he gets right into melee range and dips his head, you can back out of the road pretty easily. So, and again, just chipping away. The bow's doing a decent amount of damage, and I don't even think it's upgraded. I think it's just a level 1 bow, but you could upgrade it to make it a bit easier. And the arrows, I believe, are just wooden arrows, which are the weakest arrow you can get. So this fight doesn't require any major equipment. Just make sure you've got that armor upgraded, that's all. I think he's about 3 shots off now. And because it's so close, I figure I'll just kill him first, then worry about the grayling once he's dead. And that's the boss dead. Just clean this up. So you're going to get 2 things here. One of them flicked by really quickly, which is the trophy that you get for killing him. And the other is this hard antler. The hard antler lets you make this pick here, which is what you need to sort of open up the second part of the game. It allows you to smash stones, but more importantly, allows you to harvest copper out of the ground. And that opens up a whole host of new build options. The last thing you have to do, and I'll kind of jump forward in this video a little bit, is you have to go back to the stone circle here, and each one of these stone circles represents one of the bosses, and they've all got these little hooks there on it. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to run up and interact with that hook, which will place the trophy onto it, and then you'll get the blessings. The blessing option. You can only have 1 blessing at any given time. You can see down here I've already got Eikthyrs done, but once you've defeated the boss, you can get the blessing. or the power, whatever you want to call it. And then I think it's 20-minute cooldown, and there we go. So that's the boss fight. Now, I've seen some people do some fairly elaborate strategies for this. I've seen one person was suggesting effectively building a palisade wall in a circle and then build a little tower and stand on the platform of the tower and shoot at it. But really, this boss is pretty straightforward. You don't need to cheese it. Upgrade your armor. If you're feeling it and you feel like you need to, upgrade your weapon as well. The other thing is, if you die to this boss, you don't have to resummon him. He'll still be out there, but it does mean that your body will be near the boss. So you might need to run in, loot all your stuff as quickly as you can and get out, regroup, and then go back and continue the fight. And that's the same with every boss. Every boss, if they kill you, they'll still stay summoned. But anyway, hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview, I guess, of how this boss fight can play out, and the strategies that you can use and what to look for when you're fighting him. So hopefully you've got some good ideas about how you can take on Eikthyr and the sort of attacks that he's going to do, how you can mitigate them, etc. If you've got any great strategies that I haven't used that you want to share, pop them in the comments below. And until next time, keep gaming.